Hello guys, this is Aduhemaa and this is episode 3 of the vocal instrumental development with Aduhemaa. I sometimes call it Vida, sometimes I call it Vits with Aduhemaa. Today we are going to talk about the vocal mechanism, that is how the voice works, the process it goes through, how it looks like, the whole, we're going to visualize the voice basically. And these topics are being done to help us improve and know where to start and what to do as singers to protect our voice, to improve our singers, and be more confident in what we do. So enjoy.
Just my own.
So when we say vocal mechanism, we're talking about how the voice looks like, the process it also goes through to produce the sound that we hear. So the vocal folds is what basically produces the sound that we hear. It doesn't only produce singing sound, but any sound you hear coming from your mouth is being produced by your vocal folds. So whispering, speaking, laughing, crying, the sounds come from the vocal folds. And these vocal folds, which are also called vocal cords, are in something called the larynx, and this larynx is sometimes called the vocal box. These things are supported by two other things. So basically there are three subdivisions: the lungs, the larynx, which contains the vocal folds, and the articulators. So these three things are what gives us the sound and how we hear it for it to be audible enough to understand. So let's go to the lungs. So the lungs duty is to pump adequate air and air pressure to the vocal folds, which vibrates to produce the sound. So now the vocal folds. I'm going to show you a diagram of how the vocal folds look like in the larynx. This is a very simplified form of the larynx and the vocal folds. This is just for us to understand, but there's deeper diagrams when you go online that you would find, but I felt like this is quite simple for all of us to be able to consume. So this is the vocal folds. And then we have the epiglottis, which covers up the windpipe when we are swallowing food or we are eating something or drinking. That is to prevent food stuff from going into the windpipe, and that takes me to the windpipe. So basically the larynx is on the windpipe, so that's why the epiglottis covers up the windpipe or the larynx when we are about to swallow food, so that it doesn't go into it and choke us and we die. But the main things in this diagram is the vocal cords, the epiglottis, and the trachea, which is the windpipe. So this is the main thing that we need, the vocal folds, and they are the ones that vibrate. So this way basically it comes together and vibrates when we create sound. So basically it's like this in our throat, and goes forward, like stretches when we sing high notes, and it relaxes when we sing low notes. With men and women, men have a bigger larynx than women, and that's why their vocal cords are quite longer, and therefore they produce like deeper notes and all that, because they have a longer vocal cord. And then the females, normally we have a smaller sized larynx. Some women do have bigger ones, and that's why they have lower notes. And the reason why men have the Adam's apple is because the Adam's apple is a part of the larynx, and when they grow and the larynx expands and grows bigger, it also protrudes, and that's how come they have the Adam's apple. That's just by the way. So basically the vocal folds vibrate to produce audible sound that we hear sometimes as music, as talking, as laughter, as sounds, but audible sounds. So that's basically what the vocal folds does. And then we have the articulators. So what makes these sounds audible, because it would have been coming out just anyhow, but these things which make the sound very audible for us are what we call the articulators. So the articulators are the mouth, the tongue, the jaw, anything around the side that allows movement and allows speech to be audible. So the tongue, the teeth, the mouth, all that's around helps to make sound more audible and understandable, and that is what we call the articulator. So these three things: the lungs pumping the air vibrates, goes in under good pressure to the vocal folds, then they also vibrate to create the sound, and then this sound comes out of our mouth, but it is articulated to be understood by the articulators like the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, etc. Someone will ask, why do I have to see how the vocal folds looks like is it necessary? I feel like now that you know there is a connection here. What's the connection? This is why it is necessary to do your breathing exercise. This is why it's necessary to do your vocal warm-ups and also to do the vocal techniques steady, because it is going to make it easier for these things to connect and do the work more adequately. So when you work on your breathing exercise, you are actually learning how to control the amount of air the lungs takes and how it releases it. So it controls how much air you pump out through the vocal folds, and therefore controls the vibration, and then helps you not go off pitch, because now your air is not just passing through anyhow. Now you can actually visualize your lungs breathing in, breathing out, taking the air to your vocal folds, and then control it. So this is why breathing exercise is extremely necessary. There are three things about the voice. We have the diameter of the vocal folds, we have tension, and we have the length of the vocal folds. The diameter and the length cannot really be controlled, because that's how you are created. You're created with your diameter already and your length already. They are uncontrollable. But the tension in your vocal folds can be controlled, and this can be controlled with warm-ups. So when you warm up, you kind of relax your body, relax your vocal folds to be able to do what it's supposed to do. But when there is so much tension, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be like you're not able to even sound the way you're supposed to sound. So this is why it's necessary to do warm-ups also. And also studying learning vocal techniques and how to move your mouth, practicing or warming up with consonants, vowels, and all these silent notes is what's going to help you practice how to articulate and understand how to move your mouth, how to even place your larynx. All these things plays a big role in how you sound and how you perform. So this is why I brought up this video to tell you about the voice and its mechanism. I hope it was very useful to you, and I hope now you see more importance of why you should practice your breathing, your warm-up, your articulation practices, because they are connected and they are what makes the sound produced audible. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to see you another time. Next time, our next video is going to be the real work. We are going to discuss on warm-ups. I'm going to give you some warm-up exercises that you can practice at home, and then we'll be moving on to breathing exercises and other vocal techniques. Maybe we'll be reacting to some videos and studying the techniques they use in them and how we can replicate it into our own lives and into our music. Okay, so I'm going to leave you now. My name is Aduhemaa. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do, and let's learn more and let's develop. You can also give me some suggestions down in the comments, and I would love to hear you on this. If you have more knowledge about this topic, you can let us know also in the comments. Okay, so have a nice time.